Will my cat ever love me? Is Blandy Fish a good name for a drag queen? What the fuck is TikTok? 0 out of 3 of these questions are going to be answered here, but what I am going to do is show you a home that only one of you vaguely suggested I do in a comment on a previous video. But before we get into that, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you're new here. It will give me the validation I so crave that I'm not getting from my cat. Hello, anybody watching. My name is Dylan, and I like to build houses in The Sims 4, and today I am continuing with my Wisteria Lane house series, and today is Mary Alice's house, so 4352 Wisteria Lane. But before I get into that, really, and while I still have your attention, before you've clicked away, I would just like to make note of something special that happened on my channel the other day. I got one of my very favorite YouTubers to notice my channel somehow. Pop Dissected is a channel that I've been watching for over 6 months. I think I subscribed to him when he only had a couple thousand subscribers, like 4,000 subscribers. And he made this fantastic video on Katy Perry's Witness from June 2017. And it was a little bit of a disaster as far as the music involved in it. And he made a video sometime last year just talking about it, just analyzing it, what went wrong, what went right, what we might be able to expect from her in the future going forward. And ever since then, I've basically been in love with his channel and just watching everything that comes out every week or every couple days. And he releases really good pop music content, definitely of pop stars who, came out in the 2010s. He's definitely the go-to person, and he noticed me somehow, and it was just, I just wanted to real quick be like, oh my gosh, because I was so excited, because this is definitely somebody that I have looked up to. I love his content, and when somebody you really like notices what you have put out there, I'll put his comment up on the screen. It just makes your whole day. So I just wanted to say, if you are interested in pop music or pop culture or anything like that, go subscribe to his channel, because he's great. He's got like 30,000 subscribers, but he deserves 3 million. Like it's crazy the amount of work he puts in to his stuff, just like it is with my stuff too. But these are two completely different and random things, but completely different channels. Anyway, on to this video. If you're still watching after all of that, yes, I'm finally continuing Wisteria Lane again after a brief break from the series. And like I said, this is Mary Alice Young's house. So 4352 Wisteria Lane. Really the house that began the whole show back in 2004. Mary Alice lives in this house. She came to this neighborhood in show-wise, I think it's 1990 or 1991. She moves here, and I don't want to give too much away, just in case I do decide to do a part 2 of a tour of Wisteria Lane. But she moves here in the very early 90s and lives here until about 2004. Or until exactly 2004, excuse me, I think October 2004. And she kills herself in the kitchen of this house. And that's not a spoiler. That's literally the premise of the first season. And then they talk about it a lot as the show goes on. So that's not a spoiler. But she offs herself in this house. And then the show gets started. So yeah, it really is the house that began it all. So building this house, I built it with 4 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms, which I think out of all of my Wisteria Lane houses thus far, this is actually the house that has the least amount of bathrooms. I think every house before this had at least 3 full bathrooms, if not more, and this one only has 2.5. But what I like about that is, and then along with the placement of the bedrooms, I think maybe next to Lynette's house, this house is probably the second most, or maybe even the first most likely house to be a place that you would actually see in a real life neighborhood, I think. I would love to live here. I think this house is super cute. It looks very suburban, very livable. And I really do love it. I mean, I say that about all of my houses. All of my houses are my children, basically. I am their birth mother, so they are all my favorite, except for the middle child, because nobody cares about the middle child. But so this house here took me a couple of hours to do, just like the rest of them. This one took about maybe 2 hours, so I would say it took the least amount of time. You saw right there was a jump cut. I was just working on it, and then I took some time off and then went back into it, and I just decided to do the exterior lights and the decoration just off camera, just because it takes a little bit more time than you would have expected. Same with the lights on the interior as well. I think I'm going to start doing all of the lights just off camera, just because it takes so long to put lights in, and you really wouldn't think of it as taking that long. And maybe for plenty of other builders, it doesn't take that long. But for me, when I'm doing it, it definitely takes a long time. So I did do it off camera, and I hope that's okay. But here I am doing the bathrooms. As always, the bathrooms are base game only. As I always say, I don't by any stretch have any of or all of the packs. In fact, I don't even have most of the packs for Sims 4. So I tend to go for houses that don't use every single expansion, but then I also keep that in mind when I'm building as well. I just think, if I don't have everything, then there's probably plenty of other people who also don't have, everything. And so I do try to keep my packs to a minimum. And so that's why I tend to do base game bathrooms. And it does tend to work out. It sometimes can make the bathrooms a little bit boring, but, bathrooms are kind of boring in general. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it looks fine. If you have something that works better for your bathroom in this game, then you can go ahead and use that. There's nothing wrong with that. Here is the master bathroom. This house does in fact have a master bathroom. So, and I think it looks really nice. It maybe doesn't quite match the rest of the house, because I think a lot of other pieces in this house, it's very like green and very calming. And I think this bathroom is, but it's also a little bit on the cold side. But with the tiles on the floor and tiles on the wall. But I like the way it looks. I think it's a very good looking bathroom. And again, it is base game only, but maybe if I had to redo it, I would have maybe put wood floors in that bathroom and made it not so, I don't know, gray blue. But you win some, you lose a lot. So what can I say? More about this house. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but after Mary Alice dies and her husband and son both end up moving out for reasons that I might explain in a different video, this house goes through the most amount of owners as the show goes on. I don't remember who's here in season 2. I think her son Zach is still here by then, but then he's gone by season 3. And in season 3, I think it's rented out or it's bought by someone who initially helps save Lynette's life, and then he ends up being like very heavily implied to be a pedophile, which I shouldn't laugh because that's not funny, but they don't really explore it all that much other than a couple of episodes. And then when Lynette finds out, she runs him out of town, or she's just about to, and then she feels bad because there's like a mob of, townsfolk, for lack of a better term, who end up showing up at his door and like forcing him out. And then she feels really bad because she's like, I'm sorry that I told people this without proof or something like that. And then as he's leaving, he basically tells her, he's like, yes, I am a pedophile. I shouldn't even use that. That's a terrible word. It's a terrible thing. So that happens. And then in the, I think 4th season, I don't know who lives here. And then Paul ends up coming back in season 6, and he's got a new wife who also kills herself. Spoiler. And then I think, no, that's in season Ooh, that's in season 7, because season 6, a woman named Angie Bolen moves in, Bolen, I think, moves in with her family, and it turns out that they are in the witness protection program, and they've been placed in the witness protection program because she's like a she's like an eco-terrorist or something. Like I don't quite remember. It's been a long time since season 6 aired. And it's just kind of dumb, not because of the actress who's playing her, but her storyline is just kind of stupid. And then they're only in the show for 1 season, and then they're gone, and then you never hear from them again. You can basically skip season 6, for the most part. Like nothing really of note happens in season 6. I would say, except for like Lynette is pregnant. And that's like the only thing that carries on. Oh, well, also Bree ends up having marriage troubles and having an affair, and so that's a bit of juicy drama that I guess happens, but it doesn't necessarily need to happen, and it did. So, but the only thing that like carried over, I would say, from season 6 to the rest of the show would be Lynette being pregnant. And the only reason I even bring that up is because with this house, you know, when there's a new housewife in town who lives in this house, that's why I bring it up. That's season 6, I would say, other than maybe season 1, in the beginning of season 2, is the most amount of times you see the interior of this house. But I did decorate it in a way similar to what Mary Alice would do instead of what Angie Bolen would do. Just because I like Mary Alice more. I think in the beginning of the show, maybe even for the course of the show, the interior shots of this house are actually, it's like the same sound stage that Brie Vandekamp's house is on. And so the interior of the living room, I mean, it's decorated differently, but it's the exact same room that they use when they're doing Bree's house as well. Definitely for the first season, they did it that way. And I actually kind of noticed that watching the show when I was really little, because I've actually always been interested in like architecture and rooms and stuff like that. I always noticed that in Bree's house, when you go into her living room, there's like 2 big doors or 2 big windows on the right side of her house, next to the fireplace, or excuse me, the fireplace is in between both of the doors or the big windows, whatever they are. And then it's the exact same thing with Mary Alice's house as well. And I always thought that was strange or coincidental. And then it turns out that it's the exact same set, just decorated differently. And so now when I look at that as an adult, I'm like, gosh, I have a good eye for decoration. I know what I'm doing. I notice these things, and nobody cares at all, because why would you? So anyway, a little bit more information on just the interior of this house. I did use a couple of expansions, not all expansions, like I said, but I think for the kitchen especially, I used cats and dogs, and I used seasons, a lot of season stuff went into this house, especially the curtains in the dining room, and curtains just in general. I used a lot of them. I use those curtains from Seasons all the time, and the front door is from Seasons as well. That's probably my favorite expansion is Seasons. Maybe not even necessarily gameplay wise, although of course I do love the gameplay that comes with Seasons, because why would you not? But I think the expansion that really, is one that I probably could not play without would probably have to be Get Together. Not because I use the gameplay all that much, just like Seasons, but like the stuff in the house, the stuff that comes with Get Together, I don't think I can build without any of that stuff ever again. Especially that white pillar. I use it all the time for trim. And I don't really use CC. In fact, I don't use CC at all, or custom content. I don't use that at all. So that white pillar that gets used for trim gets overly used in basically all of my houses. I just can't live without it or work without it. As far as gameplay goes, the expansion that I use, I mean, I guess it would be Seasons, but I get annoyed with Seasons because it's like every time you need to go into your house to take screenshots or just to play, it's always thunderstorming or raining or dark. It'll be 3 in the afternoon in the game and it's dark. And it just really frustrates me. So I love Seasons and I can't play without it. But I wish that the default setting was always bright. And for me, it doesn't seem to be. And it's super annoying because I need to take pictures. Gosh, this game, why is this game not thinking about me and my needs? It's really rude of them, and I'm going to need to write a letter. I'm going to need to write a letter to all the sim gurus to make it so that this game is very sunny when I need to take pictures, okay? I'm having the exact opposite problem when I play Animal Crossing. I've had the game for 2 months, and every single day for 2 months is bright and sunny. But when I play Sims, it's always raining. I can never win. What am I doing with my life? I have no idea. So anyway, I'm actually coming up to about the end pretty quickly here for this house. I'm just kind of adding some decorations. And then I think on the second floor, yep, here we go. I furnish 2 or 3 of the bedrooms. I think I do 3 of them. I might not have done the 3rd bedroom on camera, but I don't quite remember. But this is supposed to be Mary Alice's bedroom. I figured she would have liked something a little soothing, so I picked that green bedspread. I actually really like that green bedspread a lot. I kind of wish I had it in real life. And this is a really big master bedroom. And so I used a lot of wood and a lot of tans and that green bedspread just to make it very cozy and very inviting and very much Mary Alice. That's kind of her character. Although I will say when she does kill herself, she's the narrator after she does that. She narrates the whole show. And I do kind of wish that they would have maybe delved a little deeper into the character of Mary Alice. I mean, they do show her and they show why she came to the point that she did. But they never really examine exactly who she is, which is a little bit, they maybe could have done that a little bit better, but wow, this time goes by a lot quicker when you're just sitting and rambling. So I hope if you are still here, that you are still here, and I hope you enjoyed this video. You can certainly find this house on my gallery at Carl Dillinson. It is there. It's been there for a couple weeks now. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's about it. So if you like what you see, do feel free to subscribe to my channel. I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe, but I will still love you even if you don't. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye-bye.